For life? Yes? Okay. Good Monday morning, everybody. It is the 2nd of April. It is also my sister's birthday, so I have to give a shout out to her. Happy birthday.
Which sister?
My number 2 sister. It is her birthday today.
What is her name? What is her name?
Her name is Anna. So I have
happy birthday, Anna.
Yes. You guys know me. I'm Aimee here with AuthorTalk. I'm also here with Sandy and Russell. So good morning, everyone.
Yay.
And we had a big week last week, Sandy.
Yes.
We had a lot of people watching.
Yes, we doubled our numbers of people watching the AuthorTalk. Yay.
Right.
So we're picking up numbers of people watching because we're getting regular. We used to be kind of sporadic as to when we did them. Now we're focused on 10 a.m. on Mondays. And
I rushed back from the courthouse to get here.
I got up. So no, after a weekend like I just had, we'll talk about that in a minute. Usually Mondays are a little tough, but I was up and raring to go this morning because I'm like, we're going to share some more about all the stuff that's going on with us. But I really am excited about us doubling our numbers because, as I mentioned to you earlier, Russell, the course that Aimee and I are doing starting tonight is called Be Known. And I'm reading a book called Known, and that's what inspired me to do this course. And in this book, he talks about all the people who are big bloggers, big name bloggers, making money, coming and going bloggers, and all of them, and podcasters. So we're a podcast, we're a video podcast, and all of them took a while before somebody noticed them. And so I'm going to have some tips about that in the course. But for us, I'm really excited that.
Well, what's our next step? What do you think our next step should be?
Our next step's going to be to get on iTunes. So we
need to do that then.
And I'm looking because we have to engage a place to store them besides YouTube. There's some steps to follow. So I'm looking at what those steps are now. And the three of us will talk about that very soon. So,
well, as you know, I wanted to talk about, before we got started, I wanted to talk about Easter because I got to have my granddaughter. This was the first Easter where I had a grandbaby to do eggs and Easter. It was pretty wonderful. I took my family to the Houston Club where we hang out a bunch, and we were all, let me see, I can't even find them. Oh, there they are. So we had a good time. What did you guys do for Easter?
I had my kids over, two of them that live in Houston. I have 4 sons, 2 live here, 2 live in Austin, and the 2 here came along with my little grandbaby who's almost ready to be born. He's due in a couple of weeks. So her name is Anna. My daughter-in-law's name is Anna. So we're all excited about that. And I had to get some cute little new clothes. One of them, it says, "If Mama's cranky, call Grandma." So, so yeah, we had a great Easter. Aimee, what did you and Josh do?
We went to the sunrise service, and then we went to our small group that we meet with on Sundays, and the ones that were in town, we watched The Passion of the Christ movie, and then we did like a potluck and just kind of all got together.
That's awesome. I did see, I saw that you and Josh were out for breakfast yesterday morning.
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't get up that early, so yeah. We did go, yeah.
Well, that's awesome. That's exciting. Yeah. So everybody had a good Easter.
And Saturday, Valerie Sweeten, who works with you and writes children's books, had her book signing.
She sure did, and I have a picture of it.
I would like to see that. How did that go?
It was really good. Let me share my screen so you can see it. I have it posted. Yay.
Oh, there you are.
There's Valerie.
Yeah.
And was she having book signing for 1 or 2 of her books?
Both of her books. She was selling them. She was doing bundles and signing of them. And she had cute little like fruit snacks, and she made sugar cookies. So her table was just awesome. It was fun.
Her table was awesome. It looks like a children's book table. So
yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Now, she was on, you can see her in an interview on AuthorTalk on YouTube. Yeah. She was on in the past, and she said, didn't she say during your Facebook Live on Saturday morning, didn't she say that she had a new book coming out? Was I wrong? Or was this the new book that came out on Saturday?
This is the new book, but it's been out. She's doing speaking engagements and stuff around it.
Right. I know that she contacted me in the aftermath of the hurricane to share and read to the children that were stuck up at Brown, because I was helping so much with it. And so this is something that she's done for a long time. She's committed to it.
She's very passionate about it. I always say that Valerie writes children's books, but I think that they more write her, because they just kind of come out of her, and she just does it to help read to the children and teach them to read. She's for me is one of the most passionate children's authors I've ever met. She just loves it.
Now, also last week, you guys did Robert's coming out party.
We sure did. And I have a picture of that one too.
Oh, good.
I have a picture of him and
Sandy, talk about this. After you do these major coming out parties for your authors, we usually discuss what you did, how it worked, what were the good things, what did you learn to do differently next time?
Well, I learned a lot for this one, and I'm very excited that Robert's project, so I've done a lot of launches with you, Russell, doing the Create Space for your publishing, with Sue doing her independent publishing and helping her with that. Robert's is the first one that I've ever taken from a video series and made it into a book. And that has been...
That's kind of a new step for you too.
It is. And I happen to know his business coach, Dennis Magoo, and Dennis knows my business coach. So together they're like, would Sandy like to do this kind of a project? And I'm like, sure. I had no idea what all was involved in it, but it was fun. Now there was a lot of angst moments when we were like, is this going to work? Is this going to work? But one of the things, and I learned so much from this whole process. And then when we get to the launch, of course, and we go back into our familiar mode of Amazon and being on Amazon, creating things. So I tried some new things. First of all, I'd never done a pre-order of the Kindle stuff before. Perfect. So we had a pre-order for a couple of weeks, and then the day it launched, immediately.
Do you get credit for pre-orders? Do you get credit on the launch day? Because you used to think you didn't. And
I know, because
we discussed that.
We have discussed that in the past, and that's why this one was a trial kind of for me to see. And not that I didn't know it would work, but I also knew Robert, one of the good things about Robert and working with him is he knows a lot of people, and he was 100% engaged.
He knows a lot of important people.
He knows a lot of people that were interested in his book. So one of the things that we've talked about this, all of us, several times, the more involved the author is, the more successful the launch. So if somebody hires Aimee and I just to go do their launch for them, we can have a successful launch, and we can 99% of the time get you to number one in your category. When the author is involved and the author is sending out email, they must have sent out an email every couple of days to Robert's list, to their list, to our list. And all of that, plus Robert had 1,000 people that he could contact, and they were waiting to buy the book. So we sold hundreds of books online. We sold hundreds of Kindle when it was a $5.99 charge. And then when it went to free for 2 days, he had a lot of downloads there. And then at the River Oaks bookstore, unheard of.
Okay, I want to talk about that. What'd you say, Aimee?
look at the line. This was the line to have him sign his book.
For 3 hours, there was a line.
This is cute little Valerie setting up her table.
How did he achieve that? Because so many times, and we've also discussed this so many times, and keep that up for just a second, Aimee. So many times, we talk to authors who have something at a bookstore, and they wind up having nobody, 2 people, 5 people show up. How did this happen?
He was consistent. He was sending out emails to his email list, to everyone that he knew that he had worked with, previous clients, things like that, just letting them know, hey, I have a book coming out. I'd love to see you there. He just was consistent with sending stuff like that out. And we were consistent with posting where it was going to be. Sandy was consistent sending emails to her list. We were just consistent all over the board on every platform that we could reach people. It was all about being consistent and getting it out there and letting people know, hey, this is where he's going to be. If you've met him, you know him, you worked with him, come and just enjoy the fun. Come, meet with him. If you haven't seen him in a long time or whatever. It's just 3 hours for you to get access to him and talk to him, whether you're friends, you haven't talked in a long time or whatever. Come and just support him. It's pretty much the message that we just gave out.
And it was. And and everybody participated. His wife, Giselle, was there, beautiful, welcoming people. And she had this great table of food that she had put together for it.
I have a picture of that. I like it.
Wasn't that look good? Oh my gosh. So it was just like everybody was part of it.
And because I always worry about that. You and I have talked about that. So the next question is, how did he do? How did he do on the rankings? Do you have pictures of that?
Of what?
Sandy.
Do we have, for the ratings? Yes.
These are the most beautiful, even better than the lines.
So let me go share them.
I have the best picture in the world, though. I'll have to show it after.
Okay, you can show it next. So here he is, and I wanted to make sure we showed this one. Can you see this?
Yes.
Okay, here he is, number 2. This is self-help. If you look over here in the whole chain of categories.
Self-help is a big category.
It's the top one. Under nonfiction, which look how many nonfiction books there are in the world, the very first one is self-help, the biggest of all of them.
Right. And I'm a big believer in getting a subset so you have a better chance. But this was on the big number.
This is a big number. And one of the things I wanted to point out, and so this is a call for reviews. So if you like an author, if you like Robert's book, go review it on Amazon, because Amazon wakes up and pays attention when they see reviews. So if you look here, and Amazon will not let any of my team review them because they see us as biased. So
you're connected.
So I wanted to point out that right here, this book, Never Binge Again, is number 1. Okay, 1,441 reviews. Robert has.
So how did they get that? If this wasn't a book launch for them, was it?
This book was published like 2 years ago. It's still number 1 in the self-help category because so many people are reviewing it. Oh my gosh. And does that not make you want to go buy the book? Never Binge Again. I don't even know what that means, but
I think I'm going to name my next novel Never Binge Again, something like that. Put it in the self-help category.
That's funny.
No, it is. Anyway, that was awesome. So let me go to the other one. Okay, I stopped the screen share. I didn't mean to. So I have one more picture. And I'm not sure I know how to get to that one because this is going to be this.
And while you're looking for that, there it is.
There it is. Did you want to say something first?
No, this is more important.
So here we are. This is sports psychology is a subset category of self-help. So it's not the number 1 in the category. However, he is number 1 and has been since Wednesday morning. Since Thursday morning at
And he moved way up the charts even before the book came on the giveaway era, which I thought that was kind of amazing. How did that happen?
Well, that happened because we tried something new. We tried the pre-orders. Now, there's been a lot of controversy about Amazon and how they handle pre-orders. So I was always a little bit afraid of it because you might get all your sales and no, it doesn't count or anything. This time, I'm like, I knew Robert. I saw how many emails he's sending out. And one of the things I knew, the minute we announced the book is on Amazon, what are people going to do? They're going to go right there and buy it immediately. They don't understand the concept of let's all buy it at the same time. So, and that's fine. So what I did was I set it up so that when they ordered it, when they bought it, it would be a pre-order and it would say, this will be shipped to your inbox. This was the Kindle, will be shipped to your inbox on Thursday, March 29th.
Which then gives you credit on Thursday, March 29th.
So March 29th, actually at 2 a.m. our time, March 29th, so early, flipped over. It became, it's incredible to watch it. It's so worth me staying up till then. I'm watching it. It says $5.99. Clock ticks 2:01. Instantly, you see the flip, and it's 0. And well, now that day, no, it wasn't free on Thursday. So that day, just at 2
that's the point. So that's amazing.
It went live, and we were number one immediately. 1 second, we were number one in sports psychology. We were 50 something in self-help, and so I really, at that point, didn't even realize we'd make it to number 2. The sports psychology was what we were going for, and we got that immediately. So it has been number 1 in sports psychology since Thursday until this morning. Actually, this morning it's down to number 10 or something like that. But anyway, great experience. And then we did make it free for Friday and Saturday, so everybody could get. So we've had.
Yeah, I sent it out just as I promised, Robert. I sent a notice to all my children. Hey, download this book. It's free right now. And this is a book that will help you in your life.
It's really good. I've read half of it. I read half of it yesterday. It's really good.
It really is. It's an
easy read too.
It is an easy read. And because it has the one thing that I've told and said this my entire career. It has stories. Yeah. People love to read stories. You can give them all the facts in the world and they'll read them. And I've read some books I had to read every paragraph 3 or 4 times because I'm like, I just can't get this. Stories I get. And Robert's book is full of one story after another story, his own stories, stories of his clients, stories of the gymnasts and the other athletes that he serves. Great book, great stories, great success.
It makes you reevaluate yourself, which I like. It makes you actually, dig deep and write it out, which I like.
Okay, I do have another question for Aimee. Aimee, how many Facebook Lives did you do last week promoting Robert's book? And I noticed you did one for Valerie too.
Yes. I don't know. I lost count. I think we were on almost every day.
It felt like we were on a regular hourly basis almost.
But I have the best photo from that
show it.
It's the best photo of us 3 together.
Yeah. I saw this. This really is a beautiful picture. This is Valerie.
Yes. We were having so much fun. So we just all took a selfie. Robert, he had his line. So it was so much fun.
By the way, Aimee, if you haven't been able to find your sunglasses, they were on your head that day.
I know. And I left my glasses in the car that day. So you guys are lucky I could see. So, yeah.
That is a beautiful picture. So you guys had a great Saturday, a great weekend, and you're ready to pass out. Are you going to sleep the rest of the day?
Yeah. Oh, no, we have our class tonight.
Oh, yeah.
We start our new
If someone wants to be in this class, how do they sign up?
Aimee, if you'll put it in the comments. So, but it's perceptivepublicrelations.com/be known. No breaks, no hyphens, no spaces. Be no.
No, nothing.
Okay. Now something else happened last week. Last week, when we were on with Andrea, we also got on the subject a little bit about bots.
Right.
And we were discussing them, and we thought this is pretty cutting edge. I wonder what's going to happen. And then like 2 days later, I see a Twitter from Aimee, bots. No! Aimee, first tell us what bots are again for the people that don't know, which will be everybody. And then tell us what happened and what it means if you're a writer or in the writing business or blah, blah, blah.
Right. Okay. So message bots are a marketing tool on Facebook mostly, which is why I was all no. So they are a way when you do live videos and stuff like that, you can tell your audience, hey, if you want to find out more about this product that I'm offering or the service that I'm, doing or the book that I'm writing, type in book or whatever in the comments below. And it'll send you a message, through your messenger, a personal message. It's a way to interact with your audience without having to personally send the messages one at a time. It's a great invention. It cuts down on time, and it's a great way to engage with your audience one-on-one, in a less timely manner. So Social Media Examiner does Facebook, new tips and stuff like that once a week. So their video they had done is the fact that messenger bots right now are on pause. If you already have your messenger bot set up and it's already working on your page.
And this is because of Facebook's freakouts, right?
Yes. So what I love about Social Media Examiner is they tell it how it is and they kind of keep it real. So what it is this whole Facebook privacy thing. So Facebook is pretty much scavenging, and they're just doing every little thing that they can to fix the problem or make it look like they're fixing the problem.
Make it look like they're fixing the problem. We both know they're not really doing it because that's how they finance their company.
Yeah, so they are in hot water. So the messenger bot is on pause. If you haven't already set it up, you won't be able to set it up. They're kind of estimating 2 to 3 weeks. It could be longer than that. If you already have messenger bots and it's already linked to a page, then you're fine. Just don't log out of it and don't change the settings on your page. Other than that, it could, you could have issues. But they're putting that on hold for privacy acts and stuff like that, trying to fix the problem. So they're in hot water right now, you guys. Facebook is in really deep water right now for this whole privacy thing. So they're just trying to do anything they can to cut back on it.
Just breaks my heart.
It does.
Does it? Because it really does break my heart. I mean,
not mine.
Could care less.
But look,
it's the government.
Okay. So, do you feel the same way about Google?
Yes.
You do?
And as you know, I'm a user. By the way, I'm also a total hypocrite, and I've got to put this out there. Because when my book came out, I was all into the mathematics of purchasing targets online to advertise my book. So everyone out there, I'm a hypocrite. I did this, and I actually did it pretty well. I was like,
you did a great
Sandy,
job.
I found this. We're going to do this.
And
Sandy,
I told you at that time, I said, Russell, you get it. You get the algorithm. It's really mathematical. I mean, it's really. And so, you and I were putting ads on Amazon, on Facebook. We didn't do any Google ads at that time, but I did hear.
You wanted to. I
did.
And if we had to do it over, I'd have said yes. There's a lot of things I kept saying no to you that I should have listened to you. By the way, what?
You should have trusted.
I know. I always say that as a divorce attorney. When someone hires me, listen to me. I should have done that. I thought I didn't do it well enough.
Yeah. And you know what, and Russell, I want you to know you still hold the record for the most downloads. So Robert had a lot, and he sold a lot, and he had it very successful, and he was number one. You made
I can't believe that, by the way.
You had almost 10,000.
I know, but
oh, and this is interesting. You know how I always set up these Google links so we track them? Okay, right. I got an email from Robert sometime Friday night, because it was before we had the event. and he said, can you check into this? Somebody just posted this on Facebook, and there's a glitch in the link. I clicked on the link, and oh my gosh, there's a message starting March 30th. We will be turning down support for Google's URL shortener. It went away in the middle of the campaign, in the middle of the launch. Google's URL shortener just went away. And I'm like, okay, this is one of those things that, but you know what?
There's always stuff like that.
There's always unpredictable.
And by the way, we want to thank River Oaks Bookstore.
Oh my God.
Because Saturday, they were so gracious, and they had both Valerie and Robert there for their book signings, and they were welcoming and wonderful. If you have to, I always try to buy a few of my books every year through the independent bookstores to be supportive of them. And I would urge everyone to consider River Oaks Bookstore if they have to go to a bookstore and buy books, because they're wonderful people.
So Jean was there. She's the owner, or she's actually the manager. Her son bought it from her. She's owned it for 45 years, she told me. And then we got to meet.
Her son was there? Wasn't that her son too?
No, that wasn't her son.
Well, then the manager was there too.
Because that was Juan.
Juan did a great job.
And Juan's our new best friend. I mean,
let's have Juan on.
I'd love to. We should.
Juan, the illustrator that was watching last week, we need to get all these people on.
We've got a bunch of people to have on. So yay. And then people from our courses, I've been telling them about it. So Red, did you talk to Red? Because he wants to be
on. Could not. And Red, if you're watching this, please give me a call. I couldn't get your number from Aimee. She kept saying, I sent it to you. I said, I could never find it, Aimee. So I'm sorry. Red, call me. You can get my number you can text. Sandy.
Okay, I will connect the two of you.
Okay. Sandy's got it.
Oh boy.
My bad.
No, it was no bad at all.
Okay, we forgive you. It's okay.
I'm saying no bad. Okay, so we've been on about 30 minutes. Anything we want to say wrapping up? Did you want to talk any more about
No, we've run out of time.
Okay.
Haven't we?
I don't even know. Time limits are just, constraints. There's not really a time.
We just stop when we're done.
Well, especially after the last 3 weeks.
Yes.
So thank you again for. I did want to let me go real quick and say.
Yeah, who's watching? What is people saying?
So Fern has been watching, but she said no one can. Fern's watched the whole time. She's made lots of comments.
Yeah.
Sue said about the bot. She saw that.
I know Sue knows everything, understands everything about the bots.
Yes,
she's got it.
Nailed it.
But Fern wanted to tell you to call it a release or a launch party, not a coming out party.
Yeah, okay.
And my niece, Shauna, oh my God.
Fern.
She's on everything I do, and I love you, Shauna. Felicia Brookins is on, and she's one of our former Tandem Light clients. Yay. Don't change the date on pre-orders, Fern says. Amazon will sanction you. Not that I know from personal experience.
We need Fern to get on and explain that to us a little bit. That's kind of important.
Okay. So we'll ask her. Fern is a publisher, so she's going to know a lot more about this stuff than we will.
Right.
So we'll definitely get her on. So Aimee, any last word from you?
Yes, go check your apps on Facebook and disconnect them, you guys. That's because your privacy. Log out on your phone and then log back in. It's a big deal. Facebook's in some serious hot water. So, do everything you can to protect your privacy. That's what I'm doing, is cleaning out my apps.
I said that. My sons, they're all millennials too. They're like, we don't care.
No, it's a big deal.
They don't care.
No, it's a big deal. So the quiz that got them in trouble is, what princess are you? Which I took the quiz because it was late at night and I was bored. And I'm like, oh, well, that's fantastic. But
By the way, I've always preached to everyone, never take a quiz.
Yeah, but sometimes they're, they pass time and they're fun. And I'm a sucker. I get stuck in a rabbit hole sometimes, But it's a big deal. This privacy thing is a big deal. Facebook's in some serious hot water for it. And they're, running around with their head cut off, trying to act like they're fixing the problem. So, just be active in it and go check your apps and disconnect ones that you don't do anymore. Just kind of be proactive about it.
Sue says she takes the history quizzes.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't. They record all that information.
They do. It's a big deal.
Now people like me that are hypocrites will target you.
Not that.
Teresa McCormick, thank you for joining us. We still have people joining us, so this is wonderful. I love this. Love this. So Aimee, that was your last word about just disconnecting from all the bots. Watch your.
That was a really good last word.
Hey.
It was. I'm trying to think, do I know how many apps I have connected to?
Just go to your settings on Facebook, on your desktop, whatever. Go to settings and it'll say apps, and then click on all the apps that you don't use anymore, all the games you don't play anymore, all the quizzes you've ever taken, and just go and remove them. I mean, it's a serious thing, you guys. You need to.
I think Alexa's listening to us because it keeps beeping over here and turning green. Google does not like what we've been saying.
No.
So that means they're going to be really watching us. Russell, what's your final word for today?
I'm going with Aimee's. I like what Aimee said. I think that's a great conclusion. We had all sorts of extra subjects to talk about, but Valerie, Robert, and bots pretty much took up the majority of our time.
And Valerie, we want you back again. We want you back because we want to say a special thanks. And this is my final word. We want to say a special thanks to Valerie, who was already booked at the River Oaks bookstore and was so gracious to let us come in with Robert's book. And he sold a lot of books. I think he sold close to 100 books. So awesome. And so thank you, Valerie, for letting us do that. And actually, I was told her this story. I'm in North Carolina visiting my family when talking to Robert, wanting to set up stuff. And he said, are we going to be able to get the River Oaks bookstore? And I'm like, well, I'll try. So I went there and started looking, and I saw they were already booked for that day. So before I had a chance to call him and tell him, they're already booked, I'm like, let me just go look to see who is there on that day. And there was Valerie. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I asked River Oaks Bookstore if it's okay with Valerie. Can we both be there? And so she told me on Saturday, I never thought of having two at a time before, but I will definitely do that again because this was fun. And Jean and they all thanked us several times for having the book launch there because, they don't have a lot of book launches that sell 100 books.
Yeah.
So, or book signings that sell 100 books. So they were very excited about it. We're excited. So congratulations, Robert. Thank you for all your help, Russell. Thank you for being there on Saturday. Aimee, of course, thank you for.
Because I go nowhere on Saturdays.
I know you don't.
You have football stadiums.
You have nothing to do.
Except football stadiums.
So have a great Monday and rest of the week. And Aimee and Russell, I'll see you guys tonight. If you're interested in being known, check it out. Check out the sales page. It's in the link. So talk to you guys later.
Bye.